Rythu Bandhu, many people still think it was a very successful scheme. Was it the pitch of these six guarantees? I mean, what really worked for the Congress? Because, guarantees are happening everywhere. There are freebies and the welfare, social welfare schemes that every party is putting out in all states.
Rythu Bandhu is a successful scheme. In fact, it's the pioneering scheme in India because they were the first state to offer that kind of incentive to farmers, and central scheme followed them. But when after about close to a decade in power, there's a lot of complacency that gets built in most parties, at least in most places, most states, and I think that did play a big role in Telangana, and the fact that the leadership seemed to have lost some level of touch with ground reality.
So, would the Congress then take heart from the fact that it is possible to rebuild your party in a state where, you were almost wiped out?
I think they have no choice now because of the three states, I think Chhattisgarh will probably hurt the most. Rajasthan may not be that big a surprise. Madhya Pradesh, well, I think a lot of people did expect towards the end that BJP was going to go get ahead, but the scale of the victory will probably hurt a bit. But to my mind, of the three states, Chhattisgarh will probably hurt the most, where they were fairly confident. And they in Madhya Pradesh, I don't think they have a choice but to rebuild the party because I can't see another election fought under Kamal Nath's leadership. I mean, he's got a free hand. He's been given everything he wanted, and he's failed to deliver. It's as simple as that.
But with BJP particularly, it becomes so much more difficult to dislodge them after they have gained ground. And this was, anyways, a BJP driven state. I mean, just look at the number of years they were in power after wresting it from the Congress. So, many people talk of Gujarat as an example, but Madhya Pradesh was pretty much a BJP state. So, in that sense, it'll become that much more difficult. Who is the next, rung of leadership for the Congress?
There, I think they should take heart from Telangana because I wholly agree with you on Madhya Pradesh being the original. I mean, the 80s, more than Gujarat, I think the 1980s, Madhya Pradesh was where BJP got its first big gain electorally. And Telangana, if you remember, a year and a half ago, it looked like BJP had replaced the Congress as the main challenger to BRS. So, in a space of a year and a half, if they have gone from what in popular perception was probably third place to they will be in first place, I don't think they're going to lose heart because it's because BJP is a Madhya Pradesh is a BJP bastion. Regional parties tend to be very competitive in India. It's very hard to dislodge them because they have greater clarity in the sense they don't have to accommodate too many interests. That's why they're regional parties. And most regional parties have a very, very strong ground presence. And that is the case with BRS too.
Was it the BRS family factor? Or did this whole thing about TRS suddenly having national ambitions, the party's name also changed? Did people in Telangana feel that, we're going to get ditched in the process?
I don't think there's any evidence to suggest that people in Telangana felt that they were going to be ditched. Well, they may have changed their name, but they're primarily a regional party. And like most fairly strong regional parties, like their counterparts in Andhra and Tamil Nadu, their ground level presence is fairly good. It's robust, it's deep. And I don't think there was any doubt amongst voters that Telangana was going to get relegated in their scheme of things. I mean, that's just not possible because they really don't have any serious presence anywhere else.
True. But, in this entire election, what is it that has worked for the Congress? Was it going with a local leader, allowing them to run the show, or the boost that they got from Karnataka, or was it the Bharat Jodo Yatra? What has really worked for the Congress in Telangana? Because, I mean, for the last 10 years, their numbers were pretty dismal.
Yeah, I think Congress is going to we're quite pleased with Telangana in an otherwise, I think, slightly disappointing day for them because in Telangana they've had to rebuild the party. As part of the erstwhile Andhra was probably the Congress bastion in many ways for at least 2 decades before the state was bifurcated. And in Telangana, they've rebuilt the party. They've actually Revanth Reddy, who's been the face, is not a let me put it this way: he's not an original congressman. He's been around in other parties. So to that extent, they're going to take a positive lesson from this. And it is, at least in some parts of India, the Congress can still regenerate itself after it's been wiped out. To me, at least, that's probably the most important takeaway from Telangana.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like our videos and hit the bell icon to stay updated with the latest.